Good evening. We are now holding a notice of a public hearing on the district-wide safety plan. We have amended our district-wide safety plan, and it is available on the district website, and we are going to be considering it for adoption this evening, and we just wanted the public to have an opportunity to comment if they so wish. There is nobody here from the community, so at this time we're just going to pause and wait until the board meeting begins at 7. Good evening and welcome to the work session business meeting of January 8th, 2026. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd first like to open up for public comments on any of the agenda items. As a reminder, this is a meeting of the Board of Education that is open to the public. If you wish to comment at this meeting, we ask that you please be aware of all the protocols for public comment. The protocols are listed on the back of the public agendas that are available in the meeting room. They are also posted on signage in this meeting room as well as on the district website. Agenda items? No. Okay. I didn't need to, but we're going to be consistent. We're going to start with the consent agenda. Sam, please.
Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to approve consent agenda items number 2 through 8.
Second.
Questions or comments?
The consent agenda includes approval of the December 11th meeting minutes, substitute listing updates, CSE, CPSE placements, additional or unpaid hours for various staff members. We're extending the dates for a leave replacement teacher. We're appointing the homebound instructor. We're updating the substitute salary schedule, which reflects changes in the New York State minimum wage.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolutions pass. Student representatives, you want time to catch your breath? You want Dr. Luff to go first, or are you set?
I don't really have much for today.
Okay.
Because we've been at break, so nothing's really happened.
That sometimes is a good thing.
How was your break?
It was good. It was nice that it was 2 weeks. Thanks for giving us that snow day. I appreciated that.
He has a direct line to God.
Yeah. I mean, that's been requested for future years if we make that happen.
I need that noted in the agenda.
I remember there was we had a 2 or 3 year span where it snowed the day after the Super Bowl and we were off for like 2 or 3 years.
Put that call in.
My son, when he was writing some advocacy thing, wrote a letter to the superintendent of the Lakeland School District saying that the Monday after the Super Bowl should be a vacation day, a holiday.
I agree.
And the superintendent was nice enough to write back and said, sure, as soon as Putnam Valley makes that a vacation day, Lakeland will follow suit. So, needless to say, that doesn't happen
Cute.
yet. But
Cute. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Dr.
Good
Luft,
point.
your report.
All right, I'm on. So I'd like to begin by wishing everyone a Happy New Year and hope that everyone had an enjoyable holiday recess. Some of the recent events, we had our holiday gift shop at the elementary school. I think we call it Holiday Bazaar, which was extremely successful. I know it brought tears to many eyes. Just the sheer number of community members that came out, both to donate and community members who came out to receive. Everything was free. So it was really an opportunity for a community to support those others in their community. So I think it's something that will certainly continue in the future, and I want to give kudos to Ms. Carly Roby and Laura Killoff for putting that all together. Our middle school held their band concerts. Our administrative team meeting in December, we had our own athletic trainer, Megan, Miss S., provide CPR and AED certification for each of our administrators. We'll talk more about that later, but now everyone is certified to perform CPR and to administer an AED. We held our holiday potluck night at the middle school. I want to thank our community liaisons, Judy and Maria, for helping organize that, and it was very well attended. Lots of delicious food, and looking forward to the next one. Science Research had their presentation practice night last evening. I want to thank all the students who came out to present, as well as the staff, administrators, board members, parents, and community members that came out to help our students through their presentations and hopefully learn a lot along the way. I know I certainly did. I get more and more impressed every time I see our students present their science research projects, and you would think you were watching someone give their doctoral dissertation. We had an elementary school student, Haley Ordaz, who entered a Name the Snowplow contest through Putnam County. We knew that they were coming for a photo op. We didn't know they were coming with a caravan of trucks, including the truck plow that she named the White Tiger. So it was an opportunity. I know the county executive was there, along with many other members of the county government, and a whole caravan of trucks that drove onto our campus for the photo op. So congratulations to Haley. Just a quick facilities update. As everyone knows, the community approved a facilities project last year. The work continues. We actually Dave and I have a meeting tomorrow afternoon with the architects and the engineers to go through the final version of the plans. We have submitted our project plans to SED for approval, so that is as quickly as we could have possibly hoped to do so. So we hope to soon to be approved. We anticipate some portions of the project will begin the summer of '26. And I do want to, just as a footnote, note that the turf and track replacement has been completed with the finishing of the stairs leading from the track up to the middle school. So that work has been completed, and therefore that entire project has been completed. I'd like to thank Dave Spittle for his oversight of that project through its duration. We just held, prior to this meeting, a public hearing regarding the district safety plan. It includes the addition of an emergency cardiac care annex to our plan, which is, again, part of the reason why each of the administrators was certified in CPR and AED. The state has new requirements regarding training and drills in case of a cardiac emergency, so we thought having more individuals certified to perform was a good idea. Our UPK application window has closed. They were due on December 31st. We have currently 60 student applications have been submitted. Unfortunately, our maximum occupancy is 40 students. So we anticipate 20 students ending up on a wait list. And the drawing is scheduled for next Wednesday, I believe, the 14th. The drawing will also be live streamed, so everyone can watch live, real time, to see what numbers are picked. We had a lockdown drill at the elementary school. As always, we want to thank the Putnam County Sheriff's Office as well as the Westchester County Police who attended the drill, and it's a great opportunity for them to become familiar with the building, with our protocols, our policies, our people, and we thank all of those who took time out of their busy workday to come here and help us practice that drill. We had our chief school administrators meeting at PNW BOCES, and the Lower Hudson Council school superintendents is continuing to work with the New York State Public High School Athletic Association through a variety of advocacy efforts, primarily focused on equitable competition between private and public schools, or what we're calling open enrollment versus district boundary schools. And some upcoming events: our high school chorus concert is scheduled for next Wednesday, the 14th. High school band concert is the following week, the 21st of January. And we have a superintendent's listening hour scheduled for the 22nd of January, beginning at 5:45 p.m. And just a public service announcement, PTA is holding, I think, their biggest fundraiser of the year, is their pocketbook bingo, scheduled for Friday, January 23rd, Cortland Colonial, doors open at 5:30. And I know there are still places open, spots available. So please, if you have not signed up to attend, take an opportunity to do so. That's it. Thank you.
There was more going on than we thought. I did get a email from the National Honor Society about their holiday toy drive, which we had commented on earlier, but they wanted us to know that the donations filled 9 boxes with new toys, and there's those really big boxes, so that's great. Great. I know that the families that received them are grateful, and we're grateful for the support of our students. I will say I attended the science research last night, and other than leaving feeling like oh my gosh. There's so much I don't know. I will say, and I spoke to the coach, the student, this year, I felt that the student presenters were more open and relaxed. They were clear in their presentations, but not at a level like using all words that I couldn't understand. They were maybe only using half the words that I didn't understand. And I spoke to their coach later and said, I think it tells a lot when the student is obviously in love with their subject, and can convey that to their audience. So it was a really nice evening. I'm giving you a break because I know you have to talk again.
Grace is doing most of the talking.
Okay. All right, we're going to move. Oh no, yes. Yep. We're going to do the first presentation is on multi-year financial planning.
All right, good evening, everyone. Is this on?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So this evening kicks off officially the beginning of our budget development season. So this one is really just a budget preview, and Dr. Chan will be doing most of the talking, but I do want to provide a quick introduction for her. So as we do each year, we build a budget that we hope is responsible both to our community and our students, focused on our district values, which include community, opportunity, resiliency, and empowerment, and as we always do, keeping the student at the center. This slide just highlights some of the many things that are currently going on within our district and are scheduled or are anticipated to be supported within next year's school budget. And this could include a wide variety of curricular and instruction, including teacher learning opportunities, leadership opportunities, our continued work around literacy and the science of reading, our continued expansion of IB, including the middle years program in the middle school and the high school, as well as continued support of the diploma program at the high school. Focus on alignment of math instruction, K-12. Co-teaching, a new focus on co-teaching and collaborative partnerships, making sure that our co-taught classrooms are operating as efficiently as possible. Continue to work on a K-12 writing curriculum and scope and sequence. A focus on culture and discipline, and that includes the work with Dr. Holly. Focus on AI and other advanced learning technologies. This is a committee that's been working for several years with Ms. Levine, and will continue. Focus on executive functioning, as anyone who's a parent knows children severely struggle with. Focus on science from K-12. Again, ensuring that we have alignment between our buildings and our students are prepared for the assessments. And New York Aspires initiatives of state requirements of financial literacy and the portrait of a graduate, including multiple assessment measures. And as well as our facilities, completing our design plan and awarding our bid for our upcoming project. And as I mentioned, we're awaiting our project approval, and we hopefully plan on breaking ground this summer. So with that being said, I just want to bring up Dr. Chan. There's a tremendous amount of work that Dr. Chan and her department put into the development of the school budget, so you'll be hearing from her several times over the next several months. So at this time, I will introduce her up to give you a quick overview of what this year's budget will look like. Thank you.
Good evening, Board of Ed, Putnam Valley community members, and online, and the ones that are here, and I already know your names, Joe, Liz, and Mark. Thank you for being here. I'm going to first thank my team, Matthew, Debbie, and Karen. As you know, there's a lot of people behind me to do the work that we present to the board and to the community. This is the first slide we're going to start with. Is pretty similar to what I introduced last year. It's how to calculate the tax cap. I only put in the numbers that I do know for sure. So we're going to start with the way the calculation works is that we begin with the prior year's approved actual tax levy, which is $42,568,295. To that, we have to multiply the tax base growth factor, which is specific to Putnam Valley. The reason it's specific to Putnam Valley is because it's a growth factor that reflects the quantity change in the taxable property values in the base year. The factor is based on the actual physical changes in the taxable property, such as new construction of homes, stores, and offices. It's not a mere change of the assessed value of the existing unchanged taxable properties. So for this year, that number dropped down to 1.00 from 1.002 last year. Then we come up to a subtotal, then we come up to the 25-26 prior year capital exclusions, which we must subtract from that number, and then we have a subtotal of the prior year adjusted tax levy. To that, we would multiply the allowable levy growth factor, which is the lesser of the Consumer Price Index, CPI, or 2%. At the moment, that is not out yet, but that is what you read about in the newspaper. I'm making the assumption that it will be 2%. And at 2%, the 26-27 tax levy limit before exclusions will be 41,180,101. We have to make adjustments to that, which we're waiting for some of those numbers. That is accumulation of at least 4 numbers in the 26-27 current year capital exclusions, which includes our debt service, transfer to capital, some BOCES capital, and the building aid as a subtraction. At this point, we don't know what those numbers are. By March 1st, we will know those numbers. Okay. Here's some historical data showing you for the last 4 years the difference between the budget change from year to year and the tax cap change from year to year. And just to note that in 25-26, if we had removed the tax cap calculation, then that amount, the budget to budget, would have only been 2.58% increase. So I don't want you to think that it was such a huge increase from year to year. The next historical data we have is about the tax cap versus what the inflation factors had been over the years. And as you can see, we were sort of close last year, but in prior years, we had to make up the difference between that gap of that red line and the blue line. I'm going to have the next 3 slides will show you the enrollment for the elementary, middle, and the high school. And the best part of the numbers is the numbers, but the pictures are even better than that. We have a picture of our dog here in the elementary school. So those are the numbers for the last 3 years.
That's good.
And these are the numbers for the middle school.
And they're bursting.
And this is the number for the high school with accumulation on the bottom. Okay, and this is all going to be online. I don't expect you to memorize any of this. So the job of the district is basically to balance the budget. And it's looking at the revenues, looking at the expenses, and these are the main parts of each of those columns. And as you know, on the left-hand side, we have the allowable tax levy. We have to wait for the state aid number. We have miscellaneous local revenues in Putnam Valley. One of those revenues would be the Garrison students coming to our district. Then we have fund balance and we have reserves. On the opposite side of the expenses, we're always looking at the instructional programs, and we have to consider the administration and the supervision. We have to look at all the facilities and transportation costs and capital improvements. This is just a quick list of the development of the highlights that we have challenged in the near future. So we know that we will have 26 Garrison students next year, and that's a huge revenue that's coming into Putnam Valley. And we are in collective bargaining this year that will affect the 26-27 numbers. Inflation, the last time I looked it up, is 2.4%, and the tax cap is 2%. We are waiting for the state aid foundation formulas. We'll get the first glimpse of that usually around the 3rd week of January. And then the health insurance premiums, we already found out it's going to be going up 5%. And we already know the increase in the pension rates for the ERS and the TRS. And one last thing is we have an outdoor fitness court coming in next year. The district received a $60,000 grant, and we're very excited about this. Yes.
The pension rates, why is there such a difference between a teacher and the CSCA?
So the ERS has different levels. So that is the highest level right now because there's different tiers. And I always look at the highest level because I don't know how many are off the top of my head are in each level, but that is
I
the highest
understand.
level of increase, yes.
Okay.
And the TRS actually went down a little from last year.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the big difference there
Yeah.
between the two. Thank you.
But more of our staff are on the TRS level.
Yeah.
So I had just showed you another graph of the historical averages between the ERS, TRS, and the health insurance rate for the last 4 years, just so that you could see comparison. Again, this is online, so you don't have to memorize it. This is one of the pictures of the potential fitness court that we're excited about that would come in next year. And that's another picture of that. The next steps in the budget development, we'll have some more meetings. We already started having some meetings with our staff and the administration to talk about what they need for the next year. We're going to finalize some of that personnel staffing. We'll finalize that tax cap by March 1st. We'll resolve all the state aid issues, and then we'll finalize the budget by March 12th. And in the timeline, we have a lot of administrators coming to discuss their part of the budget, and this is the list of when they come.
Good.
That's it. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chen.
Thank you.
So one of the things I thought was interesting was when you look at the enrollment across each of the cohorts, so not year over year, but cohort attrition, that we have in the elementary school alone a cohort gain of 26 students. So if you track 84 kindergartners last year became 91 first graders this year. So 7 additional students moved in. 92 first graders became 100 second graders. I think it just speaks volumes to every single class with one exception from K to 12 we see some attrition. So students moving into the district after kindergarten, and I think it just speaks volumes to the quality of education that we have to offer, and the fact that that word is getting out, and we're hearing from more and more families that they move to Putnam Valley because of the schools. And I think that the numbers we see here justify that belief that we're doing an excellent job, and young families are moving into our district for the sole purpose of attending our schools.
The Garrison enrollment speaks volumes in that direction, Dr. Love. The fact that our neighboring district sees us as an exceptional institution sending their kids here, I mean, it's increasing every year, so that is another outstanding point to make.
I'm kind of surprised that health insurance is only a 5% increase.
You missed the meeting. They're originally asking for what, 14 or
Right.
something?
The reason is because they are moving into their reserve to take some of the money out because they did well and they invested well, and so they didn't have to take as much money. We take a vote on it in the consortium.
I think the actuarial projection was like 12 or 14%.
I would not have been surprised if you showed that number.
So they had to dip into their reserves to balance that.
Do we believe that that percentage will be this low only for this year then?
That's correct. Every year it's a different
varies.
story. Depends.
Right, but it will probably be much greater next year than it is now if they're leaning into their reserves because of the fact that they had them to depend on in the first place, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
But when we take a vote on it, the 14 districts, it's because they felt that the money was going to be very tight in all the other areas of the budget.
Right.
But if they end up using too much of it, it could be higher, much higher next year.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of concern out there regarding what will be coming in terms of state aid.
Right.
So a lot of districts are fearful about losing federal funds and what that will mean for state aid here in the school. So they're there was definitely an appetite to utilize the reserves this year, get a sense as to what we're getting in state aid, even if it means having to make up for some of that use of reserves next year.
And how does it look for the state budget? Is that going to be close to on time? I know they always say it's going to be it, but
If you could project that, you could probably get odds in Vegas on this. We haven't even seen a state aid roll yet, so I have no idea
It's a big
what'll
election year,
happen in
too, for
Albany.
many of the state reps this year, so they may get it done quick, simply because they're running for office.
okay. Okay.
Thank you, Grace.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chen.
Thank you.
The next item on our agenda is the second reading of policy 1120 and policy 1120 dash something, regulations. We started this last month. This is about school district records, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So this is just part of our continued renewal and review of district policies. So we did the 1000 series. The 1000 series, it just focuses on school district records. So we shared our first reading at the last meeting. This meeting is our second, and there'll be a resolution later in this meeting to adopt what these changes represent.
Yeah.
I just have one comment, and I apologize for not mentioning this last meeting. For FOIL requests, it mentions Maureen's email.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Versus a generic email. For example, if you weren't here, someone else could access. Is that something we've always had, just your email, or is there a? So, that would bump over to you once we see, so. That would be my recommendation. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. The revised district safety plan is next on the agenda.
So I mentioned this before in my superintendent's report, that the state added a requirement regarding cardiac care, but that requirement came in after our original plan had gone through the public hearing and adoption phase. So they set a new January deadline for that to happen. So prior to this meeting, we held our public hearing regarding those changes, receiving no additional comments. We anticipate the board approving a resolution for a newly adopted safety plan, which includes that cardiac care annex later in the agenda.
And once it's approved, it will be on the website, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, next on the agenda is the proposed calendar for 2026-27 school year.
Why don't I go?
Huh?
I said, why don't I go? I don't want to let anyone else talk. So as we do each year, we met at PNW BOCES with superintendents from around the region to come up with as uniform of a school calendar as we can. So this is Putnam Valley's draft calendar. We won't be voting on it this evening, but I do want to take an opportunity to share what it means. Next year is a unique year in terms of where Labor Day falls late in the year on September 7th, which in my communication with both the CSEA and the teachers union, there was a conversation regarding whether or not we start before students or start after. And I think everyone was in agreement that it was best to start with students before Labor Day. And that allowed us to maintain the full February and spring break. So the calendar has superintendent's conference days on Monday, August 31st and September 1st, and then students' first day being September 2nd, 3rd and 4th, before we break for the Labor Day holiday. And then other than that, the typical holidays are included. We have a little over a week for December break, the February break, and the spring break remain intact. There's actually a second spring break for the Passover at the end of April. This is a unique year where Passover is significantly separated from Easter break, so they don't overlap. So we did add to recognize both holidays within this year's proposed calendar.
I like it.
Questions?
No, I like it.
It used to take like 3 meetings to adopt a calendar.
If we have a staggered start at the beginning of the year, will all students be in by the 4th?
Yes.
Okay, good. And again, I'm glad that we have a full day for day before Thanksgiving. The 23rd, I'm going to, is it possible, I know that snow day was a bonus this year, but that was nice to have that extra day before jumping into Christmas Eve. Is it possible to even have a half day on that 23rd? Would that still, will our numbers stay the same if we did that? Or,
Team no half days.
oh yeah, no, what's that? No half
do
days?
not like half
Oh.
days.
Even on the day before Christmas Eve?
I was
hard for
requested
working
to schedule snow that day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we did have the conversation. Ultimately, the conversation came down to whether we wanted the Wednesday before Thanksgiving or the 23rd. So in order to maintain our 186-day calendar, we had to pick one of the two. There's not a lot of flexibility otherwise. Like, we don't have any extra days attached to the Memorial Day or any other holidays that we don't need in there. So it's really a matter of either taking away a day from one of the breaks or trading the 25th for the 23rd. To answer your initial question, yes, a half day would still count as an instructional day, although maybe not a popular decision amongst parents.
I know last year when we discussed the calendar, you brought it back to the Federation, and they favored the Wednesday on, before Thanksgiving.
Both did,
Yeah,
CSEA and the
Oh,
PVFT.
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, this day, they would have had the 23rd off or no? Was that the
What?
snow day? When was the snow day? The 22nd or the 23rd?
23rd this year.
it was the Tuesday, yeah.
That was the last day.
And this basically mirrors BOCES calendar also, or how far is it?
It's very similar. Different. They can't be uniform. Different districts have different contractual obligations. Some districts have contractual language that says teachers cannot start before Labor Day. In which case, those districts have lost either their February break or their spring break in order to make up those days.
Or
So,
their union has to vote on coming in earlier. Yeah.
it's pretty uniform. Ours is it very closely coincides with BOCES calendar. I mean, we're not any obligation to coincide with BOCES calendar, but obviously it's kind of a disservice to our students who attend BOCES.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
If
no,
we're
no, no,
closed and they're open,
You wanna
our
do
kids
that.
don't go in,
Right.
or vice versa,
Right.
so they end up missing twice as many days. So.
Yeah.
No, it's good, looks good.
Looking at other districts' calendars, I think the only difference I've seen is the first week of September, what days they start, but
And
otherwise
that's
it's pretty
probably
consistent.
because of what Dr. Luff said with contracts and the language about when students can begin. I've worked with multiple contracts where it's actually highly specific about when students are allowed to come in and when also administrators are allowed to come in based on that calendar. So I think this is a very hard year to schedule because things fall in like the direct
know.
middle of the week.
Agree. With the extra Passover days.
Yeah, and I'm glad that we're able to honor Passover, it being so far apart from Christmas, so.
I like that
I'm
every
sorry for
month has
Lisa.
days. Like, I don't think
No, there's no full.
that there's
Yeah.
I feel like usually there's at least, I don't know, it's either like March, I think, usually has no days off, or one of the months has like none.
Yeah.
I like that there's a day in each month. I feel like
Yeah.
it gives the
Easter is
teachers a
very
break and the
early.
students a break.
Often it's March because
Yeah, April
the
is.
spring
March
break
is-
will be in April,
Yeah.
and then all we have is typically,
March
it's typically
and
why
October.
we started scheduling the
Easter
conference
Sunday
day in
is-
March,
Yeah.
was just
Yeah,
to
it's
break it
very
up a little
Was
bit.
that this year? You started for the first time? or-
No, we've been doing that for a long time, having the March day.
I wonder, this has come up in a couple of conversations. Many individuals who celebrate Easter would love to have that Monday off. I'm wondering if you bring the kids in one day on the 22nd, that makes no sense, yeah.
You would have a lot
Yeah,
of
that's
people
tough.
missing that day.
That Easter Monday is a big consideration, though. It always has been.
Yeah.
You know,
In
they,
typical years, we have more flexibility where there's maybe 2 or 3 days in
Right.
which we have the ability to move them around. This is not that year because
No.
of
No.
how the calendar falls. We're lucky Rosh Hashanah starts on a Friday evening.
Yeah.
So we didn't
It
need a
goes
day
out
off
to
for
the
that.
2 days, yeah.
And Asian Lunar New Year falls on the weekend
Right.
and doesn't need to be observed. So
Maybe in the future, we might consider shortening the amount of time prior to Easter Sunday to extend it a little bit into the Monday or Tuesday in the future. not right now. This is good as it is.
If people wanted the December, oh, I guess it's too late. I see. That's why you do May 28th as the extra. Yeah, never mind.
So just some notes. Our March Superintendent's Conference Day on the 10th does coincide with the Eid holiday.
Yeah. Yeah.
As well as the other holidays I mentioned before fall outside of the regular school calendar. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this will be up for board approval next meeting.
Good.
Thank you.
I just want to say, I think this calendar is very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very challenging, so thank you.
It is.
I'll give Maureen all the credit.
Thank you, Maureen.
That's why we love you.
Okay, we're going to move to new business. Mr. O, the first?
Yes. Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to appoint Cynthia Cohen to a probationary appointment as a senior office assistant on step 3 of the CSEA salary schedule effective January 5th, 2026. Ms. Cohen will immediately begin an unpaid leave of absence effective January 5th, 2026 through January 11th, 2026. Ms. Cohen will begin her 52-week probationary period from January 12th, 2026 through January 11th, 2027.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 2, please.
Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to appoint Gia Tropia to a 6-month leave replacement position as a general education teacher at the middle school, effective January 5th, 2026 through June 30th, 2026, or sooner at the discretion of the Board of Education, on Step 1, BA of the PVFT salary schedule. Ms. Tropia holds a childhood education 1 through 6 initial certification.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 3, please.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves and authorizes the Superintendent of Schools to sign a supplemental memorandum of agreement with the Putnam Valley Federation of Teachers regarding compensation for long-term home tutoring, as presented to the Board of Education at this meeting. A copy of said agreement shall be incorporated by reference number as doc number 117/26 into the minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Resolution passes. Number 4, please.
Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to approve the second reading of policy 1120 and policy 1120 regulations as per document number 120-26 attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 5, please.
Resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent of schools to adopt the revised 2025-26 district-wide safety plan as per document 121/26 attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 6, please.
Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to approve the corrective action plan, CAP, for the fiscal year ending in June 30th, 2025, external audit as per document number 122-26 attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Okay, I'm going to open it up for public comment on any topic, reminding people that there are protocols in the, listed in the back of the public agenda that are available in the meeting room.
Good evening. I'm going to tread lightly, seeing as there are protocols. Have 3 questions, mostly financial.
Are you going to say your name first?
My name is Joseph Ferraro.
Figures you would have violated the first one before you began.
I'm interested in knowing what the annual hit is. I'm noticing more and more successful challenges to people's assessments, so that in addition to the library getting hit, the school gets hit at a significantly higher rate as far as lost tax revenue, because you put out a plan, you put out an adopted budget, and then people will, in the interim from paying that and the school district getting the money from taxpayers, that they've challenged there, and it could be significant challenges. I know that there's a tax certiorari fund, and that's well funded. I'm just wondering if there's an estimate of if that's increasing, if that annual hit is increasing more and more, because I'm just seeing the numbers seem a little bit higher than they have been, and I don't know if there is a reason why that's the case, or people just being more aggressive in contesting their taxes. I have two others. The other one was, I noticed that Carmel is going to be discussing their veterans, the change in veterans exemption this month. And I know there's like a ticking clock on that, because people need to file for those exemptions in March to get those exemptions. So I'm just wondering if the board is planning on putting something in place for this year prior to that March. I think it's a March 1st deadline, March 30th deadline that people have to file for that, or if that's going to be for a future year. And then thirdly, what was it? Sorry. Oh, if there is a summary, and I could have asked for it, but I didn't, in the corrective plan from the audit, if there's kind of just highlights as to some of those things that are going to be based on the audit. That's it.
Thank you.
The veterans increase in their tax exemption, that hasn't come before us, has it?
No.
We did the fire, I know that.
Yeah, there was
In the past, right?
a very recent change that the governor had put in place regarding veterans and changes that they can make to that exemption. I think Joe actually had brought it up a couple of meetings ago, because I know Grace and I sort of had to research to even find, it was like a press release, but it was really hard to find any real facts behind what that law was. And we're still trying to sort of await as to what the guidance is going to be on it, but we were able to find some information, and we're trying to do projections as to what that would mean for us. But it's very challenging because we don't know what individuals' incomes were.
Typical government.
So we're trying to sort of project based upon those who qualified before. What happens if they all qualified for this? What would it mean? So
Yeah.
we're certainly aware and working on what those projections would be once we have that. But I don't think there's a real timeline behind this. We essentially have a whole year before this would
Usually
take
that's what
effect.
they give you, yeah.
Yeah. I think for the county, there may be a timeline, right, but not for the school district.
This is the first I've heard of this. With Joe bringing it up tonight, I was not aware, and usually I'm on top of those veteran things, but this one, no word out there from all the periodicals I get and stuff. I don't know. Okay.
Okay, upcoming meeting topics and presentations. I know it's budget time, so.
That it is. So our next presentation scheduled for January 22nd is our opening of schools presentation for athletics and technology. And then on February 12th, we have our our second curriculum instruction presentation. So that'll be led by Ms. Levine along with our building administrators.
Can't wait. Okay, board members, any comments or?
Yeah, I attended the PTA meeting last night. A couple of issues that came up. Number one, and you had mentioned this, Dr. Luff, the pocketbook bingo. They're looking for, as many people can attend. It's a great fun evening. Food will be served. It's adults only, because beer and wine will be there. The application for that is on their Facebook page, Putnam Valley PTA. You can do it electronically using a QR code or contact them directly. It will be Friday, January 22nd, I believe is the date for that, at Cortland Colonial. So it's a little early this year.
23rd.
23rd,
Yep.
thank you. It's a little early this year, but it's a really great fundraising event for the PTA. Also, all the officers of the PTA board are retiring. They've all served 3 years. Usually, they only ask 2 years of service, but they put in an extra year. They need volunteers to take over that. Without a board, governing board, you have no PTA. And that would be a disaster if that ever went away. All the great things that the PTA does for our kids and our community, it really is a remarkable organization. So please, parents, if you have time, go out there and volunteer and do a position. They can do co-chairs, they can do singular chairs, whatever, would fit your style. But contact the PTA if you have an interest. They're really recruiting heavily now, trying to fill that while there's still time to train with the existing board.
Right.
And finally, I know we're entering budget season. One of the budgetary things that they brought up is that they would love to see a bit more science provided to the elementary schools, because the gap from 4th to 5th grade, they feel, then all the parents said this, that there's a discrepancy between the knowledge they bring to 5th grade and they're bombarded by the new state exams and everything else, that maybe an extra day of science or maybe a couple of extra days of science may benefit the kids, especially at that 4th grade level. It's a suggestion. Some of the parents said that they might come to the board during our budget discussions to advocate for that. And I know it's tough to get that in the schedule.
Yeah, I was
It
going to
is.
say, what are you going
I
to
know,
take
where are you
something
gonna
out
put
to
it?
put something in?
What are you going to cut to?
Right.
Yeah.
We did discuss that at the board meeting, at the PTA meeting when they brought that up. We did talk about that could have a budgetary implication,
Right.
that could have a content implication, depending on how it's done. I think their concern is just that our current model goes from having science 1 or 2 days a week to
Exactly.
then having science every day.
Right.
The demand is very different, along with all of the other transitions that happen in middle school. And so I thought it was wonderful that they brought it up and they said that they would like to get more involved in the budget process. Sam and I shared the information of how they can do that. We shared with them that they are more than welcome to come here and speak, and to certainly reach out to the administration to discuss that further and talk about their concerns and how they might be addressed, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a budget implication. There are other things that could happen, but there is a finite number of minutes in the day.
That's the problem.
And
yeah.
that is always the problem in education. So it was a really great, very positive conversation.
And a lot of attendance too. A lot of
Oh,
parents
it was
were there.
so very well attended.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, in the middle of winter, I know yesterday was a little bit more of a mild day, but I am so pleased to see how many parents are coming out to support the PTA and to really get involved. It was really very encouraging. I've been in the PTA since I've been in the district, and there have been years where it was me and the president, and that's not what it was last night. And it was just really wonderful to see that many parents involved. I want to give a shout out to the PTA also for always providing childcare. My little one was in the childcare room last night while I was at the meeting, so that made it a lot easier for me. So thank you to the PTA for all they do. They are really working hard for Pocketbook Bingo, and so like Sam said, if everybody could just support, that would be amazing. Come on out. It's such a fun night.
Yeah.
I've gone for the last 3 years, and it is so much fun. So please attend if you can.
Good.
Okay. Anybody else? I did see, we got Maureen's communication with the town board.
Yes.
There is a meeting in January. I forget now what date it is.
22nd,
They
I
moved
believe,
it.
I think.
They moved it back a week.
I just have the
Yeah,
email.
Allison and CJ, the newly elected officials, are going to Albany for
Right.
training.
The 28th now. It was
It's
no,
a-
we moved
that's
back
right.
a week to Wednesday, January 28th.
28th?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
28th, yep.
So does anybody have an interest in going? If not, I'll go. All right, then I guess it's me.
It's the night of the fourth grade winter concert on the 28th.
Oh, shoot, that's right. I knew there was something else on the thing. But the fourth grade does their also winter concert during the afternoon. I'm pretty sure
I
for
could
the
probably
students.
go.
Huh?
I could probably go.
You could probably,
I don't want to go because it's dark out and it's cold out.
Take the hit.
I could probably go.
Sasha's going if it's,
No,
if it's
we're-
not dark and not cold.
I think it's your turn anyway,
At least
Sasha.
it's
Yeah, it's-
Oh, I actually cannot go that day.
Oh.
I have a doctor's appointment. You said
Okay.
January 28th?
yeah,
At what time?
Yeah, no, I actually cannot.
6 o'clock at night.
Well, I could still
Well,
make the
the concert
concert.
doesn't start at 6.
Yeah, okay.
What time is the town meeting?
6.
6.
Yeah, my doctor's appointment is at 5.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
sorry, I actually have something.
That's okay. It's my turn, I'll go. If
Oh,
you,
yeah, that's right, you haven't done it, Barbara.
If you
Good.
think of anything that you think is important that I mentioned, if you just shoot me an email or a text, I'll
Sure.
add it to my comments. I do think we made that commitment, and I'd like to continue that. so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can, maybe at the next board meeting, or a different way, figure out a schedule like we did for the past few months of who can attend each meeting.
Right.
This way it's ahead of time, we have it in our schedule, and
I thought I
We
had
can
printed it
rotate.
out, but I don't have it with my stuff, so
that's
we'll do
okay.
that next time.
We can do that next
Yeah,
time, sure.
yeah, good.
All right.
I actually
Everybody
just
bring
sent that
your
email.
calendars.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
No, all good to go.
Steering committee meetings are happening
Oh, yeah.
next week for 2 of the buildings. I was not able to attend the last high school meeting, but I know that they did some great work around grading protocols, and the conversation is about ensuring consistency among courses, which is really great. I will be there next week at their high school building steering meeting, as well as the elementary school one is next week. I do believe there was a middle school meeting that I actually attended, and I don't remember it. So I will report on that next time.
Oh, They do have the alumni coming back tomorrow, 10:15, up in the library, where they will meet with the seniors. These are young people who've gone to college, coming back, and it's going to give them a perspective of the collegiate life. I always love that. It's canceled?
I believe they said they had a lack of response.
Really? Oh, bummer.
Next time.
I love that. I've been attending that. It's great to hear their perspective. It's definitely canceled, I mean, for sure.
I believe I saw the communication from them.
I wrote Matt this evening, telling him that I'd like to show up, and it was this evening, so I knew I wouldn't get an answer from him. So maybe his answer will be, it's canceled.
Okay. Well, you can, if it's not canceled, you can report on how it went.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'd like a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Great.
Hi.
Good meeting.
Good
Very
night.
quick
Great
tonight.
meeting.
Wow.